Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new to the channel, thanks very much for tuning in. Firstly, I just want to say I hope all you guys out there are safe at home with the coronavirus going on, and hopefully we can all get through this pretty soon. The reason I'm doing this video, I'm actually going to do a series of videos, short videos, and it's about kayak fishing for beginners. So this first episode is going to be for beginners and why you would go and get a kayak in the first place for fishing. Some of the pros and cons to think about. Now, there's more, in my book, there's more pros than there is cons. So I'll go over the pros first. And firstly, the main reason that I chose to get a kayak for fishing was the freedom that kayak fishing gives you, and I'll put that into a comparison. I used to own, or I have owned, a few small boats in the past, and as much as I loved having a small boat, a small fishing boat, I still felt, looking back, I still felt restricted in the fishing that I want to do. And what I mean by that is, having a small boat, I was restricted whether I had a mooring or whether I was taking my boat on the trailer and going to a launch site. So on the mooring, I was restricted to fishing in an area that was relatively close to that mooring, and if I wanted to go further afield, you know, the cost of fuel, etc., it soon mounts up. And the comparison to whether I went to take my boat to a launch site, launching from a slip or a beach, you know, even that was a restriction in itself, because you just can't go anywhere and launch your boat. If you go to a harbour, you know, you get costs of launching your boat in the first place. The launch site might not be accessible at all states of the tide, i.e. low tide, and the number of launch sites compared to launch sites on a kayak, there is no comparison. You know, if you can get your kayak on your car and take it relatively close to the shore, you can launch your kayak in pretty much a few inches of water. So for me, that was one of the big sort of deciding factors that it was going to open up my fishing experiences, because I could launch the kayak in areas that I wouldn't be able to launch with a small boat. Once your kayak's on the car, you can pretty much take it anywhere, and as long as you can get that kayak safely on and off, you can launch that kayak. So I've been fishing for years. I fish from the shore, I fish from the bank, freshwater fishing, sea fishing, and even at that, for me, that was, and still is, a restriction, because once you're at your place, your venue, unless you want to up sticks and carry your fishing tackle, you know, you're pretty restricted to that venue for that whole session. Even going back to the other comparison of having a small boat, you can launch, let's say, you can launch a kayak in shallow water, but plus you can maneuver that boat in shallow water, where you wouldn't dare take a boat, you know, if it's rocky. You can take your kayak into shallow estuaries, and more often than not, you can't even get access to those places by foot. So the pros of having a kayak, even compared to a small boat, far outweighs, you know, not having a kayak in the first place. There is only one downside to having a kayak, in my opinion. As long as you can transport that kayak safely, is the weather. Now, especially here in the UK, you know, especially over the winter, I don't think I've been on a kayak. Well, I have been on a kayak once for freshwater fishing for pike. I haven't been on the sea, and I think since October, November time. That's simply because the weather has just been atrocious. as you all know, in the UK. So those are my reasons why, or the pros and cons of why I wanted to get a kayak, and it could be the reasons that you guys have been thinking about. Another reason that I'm going to be doing these videos is I'm relatively new to the kayak fishing. I've only been doing it for just over a year now, and you know, already I've made some mistakes in the kayaks I've purchased, fishing gear that or should say kayak accessories that I've purchased. Some have worked and some haven't. So I just think that, you know, these series of videos will be able to give you the knowledge, especially as a beginner, in moving forward and hopefully achieving your dream of having a kayak, and the things that maybe you haven't thought about. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Stay safe. See you soon.